Guys, we don't bite. Come here. Hey, I'm missing your name. Kana.
Yatindra.
Yatindra. Okay. Nice to see you.
Yeah.
Hey, you've been coming to the class for some time?
No, today I have, before the pandemic, I used to come, but after the pandemic, today's okay.
Oh, okay. Good.
Come on, I tried before, but yeah,
Okay. Hare Krishna. So, is there a topic for the day? Is there a topic for the day?
It's just
That's an interesting topic. We can go on. More than me, there are people here who can speak for long. So I think let's be contributive and let's have an interactive session today. Okay. Come on up closer. Come. Those of you who can. So I may not need the mic. What's the note you were playing on? Yatindra, what do you play? You play Mridanga?
I wanted
You play harmonium? No, tell me what. Karta.
I have played before, but
Come sit with me. Come here.
I don't have practice.
Yeah. Hey, this guy is, you don't know why I'm doing all this. He comes from a very special background. He's from a Sri Vaishnava background and he's been associated with us in the satsang for very many. The parents and grandparents, his grandfather was one of the founding members of our yatra here. So he comes from a family, his mother, father are all great Kirtanias. So, sing one. Play on the harmonium, no? Let it go. Play along, just play along. Hare Krishna. Good job. Good job. Are you getting the notes? Come closer, you come closer, he can go back. Good to go? Chad, or whoever who's doing managing the recording. Is this going on YouTube?
Sorry?
Is this on YouTube or is this on Facebook? Or it's on
This will be shared on Facebook later.
You clip it and share?
Yes, I'll share it with you.
Do you clip it and share?
Yes, brother.
It's not one chunk.
It's Kirtan, then it's class.
Yeah. See that you split it. Makes a lot of sense. People pick and choose what they want. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Shri Ramchandra Bhagavan ki jai. Anybody who's had the good fortune of reading at least a part of the Ramayana here? Part of the Ramayana. Reading. Put your hands up. Whoever. Yeah. Yeah. Rajiv? Rajiv, that's your dad.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Chinmay.
Chinmay, sorry. Okay. How many of us saw the movie? Ramayana. Did I ask another question? I mean, did I speak about anything else? No, because sometimes I mix up words. Did I say anything else? I said only Ramayana, no?
Yeah.
Anybody watched the movie?
Ramayana.
Yeah, the Ramayana movie. No?
Was it like animated or?
The anime?
No, the animated one's also good. I've seen that multiple times with my kids. I've seen that multiple times. Yeah. When my kids were 7 or 8, I watched multiple times with them. Yes, but animated was a very short one. I think it's an hour and a half.
1 hour 20 minutes.
And some of the songs were super. Setum bande, setum bande, that's a beautiful one. It's good. Some of you bought that out of me. Good one. I haven't seen that in years now. So, actually, if we consider Ramayana as a manual for how we can live our lives, yes, and there's a lot we can learn from conflict, and how we may manage and avoid conflict. Yeah. So today we'll try to focus on just that. Okay. We want to come out with lessons on how we're going to work around conflict and how we come out with solutions for that. So how do you define conflict? Huh? Disagreement. Nice one. Good one. What else?
Energies don't match.
Oh, that's an excellent. Good one. But yeah, it's true. The energies don't match. There are some people with whom it's very difficult to gel. How many of you have seen that? उसके साथ तो जमता ही नहीं. Yeah? It's true. For some people, it's just, they got a chip on their shoulder, or you got one for them. Either ways. Yes, and it almost happens regularly. So what do you do with that? Kill them. What do we do?
Not talk to them.
Yeah, just see that you shut them off as much as possible. Not in a negative way, you shut them in a room and run away. But in the sense that we want to see that we don't have to overly interact with those people. Yeah, we'll park that aside. But there are some relationships where you may not have that option at all. Father or mother. Or one of your peers, very close siblings, start attacking to pedai you kind of thing, yes? Yeah, that's a very, very difficult scenario to be in. And there's no running away, you can't shut doors, you may not have those usual options. Earplugs don't help, because sometimes it doesn't have to be words. It's just things done, things left in the wrong place, things not done. Almost anything can irritate us. Yeah? If we are in a state where we are being ready to lend ourselves to be. Okay, let's put that aside. Have you seen very, very close, beautifully working relationships suddenly going sour? Yeah. Then maybe when we were much younger, our priorities and our rather behavior, thought patterns were very different. And when we got older, suddenly the same person you must have possibly really liked and loved gets to be irritating. Yeah. So what do we do? What do you do?
Sit down and
Chat with them.
try to have a sensible communication.
Very nice. Actually, we do a lot of this on the relationship coaching side. When people are having this call, the most important thing to do it's good you brought that out. The most important thing to do is to choose not the time when you're having a rift. The time you are having a problem or a disagreement is not the time to make any sense or it will never bring you to anything. Yes, specifically both sides are heated up. Doesn't matter. One side is heated up is good enough. They'll heat the other side up. Yes, it will happen. But if there is a disagreement or a problem, there is no point trying to make sense at that time. So you have to therefore look for an opportunity where you will be able to, both be sane and be able to pick up a sane discussion at that point in time. and when everything is like calmed down. And I know many people who give each other the opportunity to go nuts. It's a good way to work. Huh? Serious. So we all go nuts. Okay. So when one person is, I see a lot of sisters here. So when one person is, and brothers, and when one is wild, then instead of just you also adding to the same music, add a little more noise to it. It's better you just chill and say, "Hey, aaj tera din hai. Jo karna hai kar." No, it really helps in resolving, because we all have the day you got off the wrong side of it. Oh, okay, forget all this relationship lesson. Let's come to Ramayana and see how we can relate to that. Okay? Now, was Kaikeyi somebody who actually hated Rama? So, okay. So, why do you say no? Why the hell did she banish him for 14 years of all good things? She was brainwashed.
She was
Okay.
selfish.
Sorry.
She was selfish.
She was selfish. What minute? Suddenly one day you become selfish.
Maybe she could not sense that. Like, she thought her son is a priority. She didn't give the priority to her son that time. When she was brainwashed.
No, I'm coming back to the same question. Is it that one certain day a person becomes selfish? It can happen. I mean, I want to put the question as if it doesn't. It can happen because you know we all have phases when one mantara pops up and points something out to us one day, or you sit and watch a movie. You have one other interaction exactly like that with somebody. You learn a lesson from that. That you say, whoever comes from now, I'm going to deal in the same way with them. There are many reactions we may have to things like that. Yes. So it could be that we make one person makes a change. So what would our response be? You see somebody who's gone amok suddenly. So what would your response be? Great person, somebody who's really, there's been a lot of no love lost in the relationship till this thing. You relate very well, but something suddenly seems very destroyed. So what would you do? Huh?
And explain that.
Oh, very nice. Yeah.
Understand why the change is there.
Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. Understand, try to talk to them. That's very important. You may also have to give it time. In the sense, you see what happened with Kaikeyi, it looks like in 15 days she managed to ruin all the good she did. In 15 days, she completely ruined it. And post the 15 days, she actually switched back to the good Kaikeyi. But that's never going to be seen or understood beyond that. Yes? And for most people who don't have time to get into it, Kaikeyi was the villain of the whole piece. Yes?
Yes.
And that's it. So sometimes, I think we just need 15 days to ruin it with our boss. How many of you have seen something like this? You have a face and 15 दिन में सब उड़ गया. जो अभी लाड़ प्यार से डील कर रहा था, अभी लात मार सब चल रहा है, धंधा सब मिल रहा है. Yes? It's very easy to do that switch here. And as somebody who's your boss, it's most sensible. Either he can, immediately get the cross and nails and crucify you, or let's wait for the next month's numbers to see why decide on this why decide this month. Let's look at how we need to give it time. And actually, if you see how Rama dealt with it, uh, was just fantastic. Yes, Kaikeyi went nuts. And how did Rama reciprocate?
He accepted whatever decision she made. He didn't
Hey
retaliate.
Ram. Okay, sorry. Go on.
He didn't retaliate. He responded appropriately.
Very nice. And what is the appropriate response?
So he accepted it with honor.
Nice. Somebody else? What else?
He didn't question it at all. Without even thinking twice, he accepted her decision.
Very tough, no? Yes. How is it possible that Hare Krishna? How is it possible that you would accept something without questioning?
Respect.
Huh?
Respect.
Respect?
Is it taking for that? It's for a good reason. It's
You take it
potentially
that
for a good reason.
potentially for a good reason. Yes. And history has shown you that generally when they take a call for you, it's a good call that has been taken. Yes?
For peace also.
Sorry?
For peace.
Peace. So that there's no janjat at home. Ye baar chhod do. That's also very valid, and that's a
Just for her, because
that doesn't last very long because they'll be a tipping point at some point in time. You were saying something?
yeah, we trust the person in front of us, so we now question what they do.
Very nice. So, like, say if it's a parent, yes, okay. So what's the thought process? Something happens. They want you to be a little more grounded. You want to fly at 200,000 feet at breakneck speed. So you have a clear difference of how you perceive. Okay. So then there's some heavy reaction to that. You're grounded. I'm not a kid, okay? No more. Yes? These things happen. So, what Rama gave so much credence, yes, to what love and affection she has actually shown to him. And his side of the most important point in this whole thing, when people come asking, saying we are having an issue, yeah, first question is, how interested are you in resolving it? I'm serious. That's the first question asked. How serious are you? How far will you go to resolve it? If the answer is this relationship means everything to me, this is my father or my mother or my could be partner or already partner, and I'd go any distance to put that relationship in space, then that's very good ground to work from. Say actually it's gone so sour. If the answer is it's gone so sour, I'm thinking whether we should or should not. Okay, so that sets you at a space where relationships don't happen with I put 50%, you put 50%. Because I put 100%, you put 100%. That's the truth. That's what Rama did. Yes? Rama, what was Rama's statement to Kaikeyi? Rama's statement to Kaikeyi is, you can do yata tatava vidata. You can do anything you want with me for the love and affection that you have shown to me till now. Yes? You don't have, why Dasharatha has to tell me? You tell me, I go immediately to the forest. I totally trust you and your decision. Are there some people you can trust like this? How many of you think, yes, there is somebody in my life whom I can trust in totality, that man? Hmm. And if it's more than one, more than two, more than three, if it's a bigger number, then you truly have a good coterie of people with whom you're working with. You've made good relationships. It need not be just a parent, it need not be a sibling. Sometimes it can be some other friends also whom you are. Though, let me tell you, what lasts the longest? Mostly everybody in college? School? Huh? Nee, where are you now? School or college?
I'm in school.
Okay. Otherwise, everybody is college here and beyond, working. Yes, that's the zone we are in. How many of us still in touch with some of our schoolmates? Acham. How many of you have completely lost touch with some of them? It's whom you thought were so important, and you had a fight with your father or mother for them. Show me, put your hand up, come on. That you had a fight with somebody very, very close to you for that person who's not even on the map at this point in life. Yes, what happens is we have a lot of people like that who come into our lives and will go away. उनके लिए the people who really mean life to us, पंगा उनसे नहीं लेने का है. Yes, that is one thing you should keep in mind. Believe me, you may find sometimes parents may not be balanced. Yes, or in a particular issue, they may not have the wherewithal to actually make a good decision. But still, the intention very rarely is negative. Very rarely is negative, and you can't say that of friends. Yes, there are many of them because it's at that point in time they could mean everything. And I know I have some very thick friends. At that point in time, I have had some friends for now 35 years. And I trust my arm and leg with them. It doesn't matter. Go the full distance with people like that. Yes, there are. But I think one of the major people, see, unswerving, whatever stupidity you do, still, you're my son, you're my daughter, and therefore we have to move on. How many of you have seen something like this either in your life or in close ones, and you really believe that? Kuch bhi hove, come share it with me, no problem. I'm with you, we're going. Yes. And if this is not there, generally it may make you a little difficult, but some people are not expressive. But this is the reality. If you know, we've seen kids in the youth class go completely topsy-turvy and pitch straight back in. Yes? You know, how does it matter to us? We're very happy that if they come back, we're very, very happy. Or open arms, receive them. Now, if that's the case, one's own Atmaja, one to one, it's doubly so, yes? There's no letting up on that. And actually, spouse, partners are supposed to be that thickly bound. People are supposed to get into relationships. If you see, if one person is going to say, like Kaikeyi is going to say, I don't care what happens to you, Dasharatha. Yes, I want this done. For that 15 days, she was so adamant, she got what she wanted. Yes. So what happened after the 15 days? Huh?
She lost everything.
She lost everything. Yes. What else? What else happened?
A reputation. Yeah.
Reputation was gone south. Then
The kingdom was down.
you're managing something from there. How's it? The kingdom was down. Yeah. Look at the people were suffering. Yes. Big scale. Yeah. That's right. Okay. What else?
A peace of mind.
Huh?
A peace of
A
mind.
peace of mind. Yes. After that, her son was not her son anymore. Yes.
Purpose was never
Yes. For who? Yes. Sorry.
Purpose was never achieved.
None of her purposes. You know, you look at it. She wanted her son to be the king. Boom. He became more mendicant than Rama. She wanted, to be the queen mother, her own position and where she stands and stuff like that, gone to smithereens. She wanted something else, I don't think it was evident, but in the flow of things, it looks like, dekha jayega. Many times, the younger generation is in a mood to say, if I don't gel with my parents, I'll go live on my own. Good luck. Go try it. Yeah. Easy. You go put your chest out and say, "Oh, मैं देख लूँगा." खड़ा हो अपने पाँव पर. भैया 4 दिन 10 दिन हो गया. वॉशिंग मशीन के कपड़े पड़े हैं एक साइड में. हाँ. Plates are unkept, uncleaned. This is just the smallest side of it. Then comes the finances, because you think you can manage everything. When you get added on to things. She never thought she knew that Dasharatha was so attached to Rama. But sometimes the reality that this Dasharatha, who's been, just imagine the kind of affection and the support that he had given her all her life. Yes, she pulled the rug off the guy. That's what she did to him. And she lost that person who would have been the only support even in that situation. If she had relented, it is the same Dasharatha would have been the true support for her if she had relented at that point when he was still there. I think he's the kind of love and affection that Dasharatha has. He would have been the true. So sometimes we need to keep our minds open in this front, yes, specifically with those who are really close to us. Don't try breaking off some of those relationships. So the two things that I said, first thing is look for the right circumstance. Okay. So say Shubha and me, we have a discussion. There's something heated. And it's beginning itself, it is 90 degrees or close to boiling. 100 is boiling, no? So it's very close to boiling already. So then I would say, hey, this is going south. Just please, this is absolutely going south. It's not going to help you or me. Let's stop. Oh, you want to stop, so I have to stop discussing. होता है ये होता है 1% tells just let's not, this is not going to work. How many of us seen something like that? Are we able to accept that at that time? No, I want to आज resolve करना है मेरे को. That's stupidity. Because the reality, I don't know, I am gone berserk today from Ramayana to, but I think all of them have stemmed in their this thing from that, if you see. This is the most important lesson if you can do this for yourself. In life, when it comes to work, when it comes to study, when it comes to all the important things in life, never procrastinate. When it comes to fighting, procrastinate. No, I'm very, very serious. If you can hold off at that moment, should I say it or should I not say it? It's just that 3-second decision that you got. If you hold it at that time and don't say it, you're saving the relationship a lot of heartache. Dad saying something again, and mom's going to add something. Playing games. It's like dead. Then you feel like saying the worst thing coming off your head kind of thing. If we don't let it at that time, if you let it go, it's going to be a very, very big disaster. You see, that's what Sumantra did. Sumantra came back and said, "You are vile. You're born from a really stupid woman. And that kind of stuff, just get on with mother's case. You speak to anybody and talk about your father is like that, your mother is like that, that is why you're like that. Sometimes bachas say, your father was also like that, I think that's why you're also getting on my case like this. Or your mother is with something like this, stuff like that. Never take it to the next level, because if you take it, then it's going to be very deep. Sumatra did it more like, because he was seeing Dasharatha was hapless, and Dasharatha couldn't make head or tail of what's happening in the situation. He just wanted support him as the minister. That was the perspective. So Sumantra spoke. Dasharatha never spoke those words. It's not that Dasharatha didn't know. Even there, if you see, there were, he was reactionary, but Dasharatha had nothing negative for Kaikeyi. So I think this is very, very important that Rama could hold off. Yes, Rama's clear decision in the head is, you're my mother, and even you do this to me, still you're my mother, and therefore I'm not going to react to this. And when Bharata went to meet Rama, Kaikeyi by then had already been straightened out. She came back to her senses by that time already. Yes, such a short span of time that this whole thing happened, and the person is completely. If only Rama had said, "तू भी क्या मेरी माँ नहीं है ना, इसलिए बोलती है ऐसी." Just one statement like that would put Rama in a very different light for us at this point in time. Yes? So that's a very, very important thing. And I sincerely request you guys specifically to have utmost care when you're dealing with your parents. Yes? Siblings too, like dogs, you can fight, no problem. Part of the fun. Then they'll fight for 15 minutes, and then they'll also be in love with each other. We okay, we'll watch this serial together. Yeah, that's, I don't know. It need not be necessarily, but you're able to patch up at some point in some way or the other, but it doesn't happen that easily with the parents. Is there somebody here who finds it very difficult to say sorry? Come on, put those hands up. Straight up. Come on. No, that depends. Is it easy? Does it happen every week that you can say sorry to somebody? If not, you're in this category. Put your hand up. You can't say sorry. Like, maybe say that in the mirror in practice or something. But I think if a person is ready to lose in a relationship, I'll give you a simple example, but it doesn't reflect in grown-ups. It reflects in children very easily. Say, if two of us have an issue, okay? I'm saying, what are you playing, man? Oh, ठीक से बोल रहा है, ऐसे क्यों बोलता है? It just keeps going on, for instance. But, this fellow is what, 1/4 or 1/5 my age, something like that. So if I'm just going to hold off in this manner, it's not good for somebody my age and my maturity. If it's not correct. So I say, yeah, I think you're right. Sorry about that. I should have spoken to you better. if you can do that, sometimes maybe it's not your mistake, maybe it's even the mistake of that person, but still for the sake of keeping that relationship. You've seen that with friends. It'll happen with friends. It doesn't happen with parents. Yeah, you've seen that with friends. Yes. Where you let go just for the relationship's sake. Some of you seen it. Yeah. You know that person is completely oppressive nonsense. Your mother, father, everybody, friends will say that this person is a vile nonsense. Yes, don't deal with this person. But no, you're kidding. नहीं ठीक है ना वो कभी कभी ऐसे करती है otherwise she actually likes it. Yes, you're ready to give that credence. If you are actually able to do that for more number of relationships, that's just that's what Rama did for Kaikeyi, you know. He said, you know, this is not her. When he's explaining to Lakshmana, what does he explain? Any of you have your notes in your head? Later he is telling Lakshmana, this is not her. It is the circumstance that is actually putting her in this position. This is not the Kaikeyi that I know. This is not her at all. She can't do like this. So therefore I give her credence for that. This is just straight out of Ramayana. He does this for Kaikeyi. When he is explaining to Lakshmana, he says, this is not the Kaikeyi. This is the person and the amount of love that she has shown me. This is not the person. So for that 15 days, she was nuts. But he was able to spot that and he was able to acknowledge that and let go. So if you actually, so I've seen this, अभी समझो बच्चा है, बच्चा आके he's doing something and say he drops the phone. You say, Papa, you only dropped the phone. Yes, I only dropped the phone. Yes, करोगे? It will happen, no? Yes, when it's a kid, you will do that. Why? You're ready to, you're ready to accept, even if it is not your mistake, you're ready to say sorry. Sorry, मैंने drop किया. Like, you do that too much, you're pampering the kids spoil it. That's the next side. But एक हद तक, it is viable, yes. But we think when we become older, then we're not going to give anybody a chance. मैं तो spade का spade हूँ. वही सब है. That's what I've been most of my life, and I really regret it. The more I read Ramayana in the last 4 or 5 years, I think, Vaga, I've been a pain in every side. Yes, I have really been, and lot of. I thought I never need to appreciate my own family as an ethic. You will never see me. We've conducted so many youth festivals. You will never see Shubha or me go up there and say, I thank my wife who has been the main organizer for and all that stuff. Well, my ethic was I can never, if I have guests at home, I can't tell my wife that you cook very well. I will always go back and tell her she cooked well. There's not a day that I would miss. But that would not happen in front of guests. It's for the guests if they want to say something, Yes, I can't go and take that. It sounded logically perfect. But when I see how Rama deals, how Rama introduces Lakshmana to people, how Rama introduces Sita to Atri and Anasuya, yes, how Atri is appreciating his wife Anasuya in front of Rama. Yes? So when appreciation is due, why can you not give it? Yes? Because we don't count, there's no gratitude. We ingrates. भैया कितना पैम्पर बदला तुम्हारा yes? Your parents, what all nonsense they had to put up with for what you are standing today. Yes? Will you ever be able to repay that? Simply impossible. It's simply impossible. Count what they have done. If some of you are not with your parents or with your parents, take this opportunity to go back to them and tell them that in life there are 3 main gurus. Yes, who are the 3? Huh?
Mother and then
The father and the mother. and then the Guru. It need not be that they go the full 9 yards. They don't have to be perfect. It's not that they have to be, it doesn't have to be. But what has been done, without that you will not be standing here today. Maybe it only compares to 75% of what some other parent has done, or some other sibling has done. Yes? Or grandparent for that matter. Some of them are just ahaituki. Yes? Simply no reason for showing the affection at all. It's just giving. That's all there is to affection. So actually Ramayana brings those threads into our life. We start to think, when you look at Rama's face, the fact that he never, well, why not follow this ethic? Sarvabhauma Prabhu was talking today. Yes? Aparadaha shatamapi. Even if one does 100 aparadas with your parents, start this there first. Right? Don't give 100. Do to yes. Every day, put a recount to that. Something happens, one or two things happen, I'll keep my mouth shut and I'll take it. Doesn't matter. You don't have to retort for everything. In fact, you know what? I don't know whether you've seen this. Just think of this properly. If once something happens and you don't react, you just keep quiet and let it pass. Have you seen appreciation come from the other side?
Yes.
How many of you have seen that? Yes. It's so true. Yes. You don't have to, be iron and tongs at every single issue every time it happens. Sometimes you just look at the person and Bhaga, you're fooling, no problem, go ahead. Just be what you are. Just let it be. I think it matters a lot. To be able to let go. I think it's Dale Carnegie, somebody who said, let the other man save his face. You know what that means? Anybody?
Instead of we pointing it out to them, they should realize it on their own.
वो भी है, but that is also there. But sometimes you say something to somebody, you don't have to go and park it in that exact space. You see, because you did this, you're the stupidest guy in this world. It doesn't have to go there. You have to say, hey, did you really think about this before you did it? And let the guy save his face. You don't have to pull him up and say, yes to me. You don't have to do that. Yes, you tell the person that, look at what's happened here. And just let the person save his face. Within him, he'll count that. Yes? How many of you've seen somebody do this to you and you feel, oh, thank goodness they didn't get on my case? I've seen it.
I didn't get the question.
Sorry, question again. We do something funny that's worth getting on our case. And the other person can, without any big, you don't need Sherlock Holmes for that. You put two and two together, you say, you paint it as the stupidest person having done that particular activity. It's very simple, straightforward. But the other person is not on your case in front of the others or anything like that. Just lets you save your face there and says again and leaves it there for you to this thing. How many of you felt thankful that somebody did that for us? Yes? It's like, oh. Yes? Okay. Actually, we live short lives. And in that short life, if you are going to be fuming with it, how the hell could he say this to me? Do you know who I am? This is a super question that may be. जानता है तू मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ? ये बोलो क्या कर सकता है? What can you do? At that time, maybe nothing will happen. Maybe you punch each other. I don't know wherever it goes. But the residue you will carry with you is going to be very. Next morning, forget your chanting. How many of you have had this? You take your mala and all the problems are running. I'm going to write to him right now. Mala utata hai, niche rakhta hai. It just keeps happening. I want to just go speak to the person and say what has to be said. One can never do. It will clearly affect your work life. How many of you yes on that? A problem kills you on the work life. Yes, and it really has its impact on it. It affects you in family. It will affect you when it comes to your spiritual sadhana and everything else. So, if we are going to have very painful relationships and we don't know how to deal with those relationships, we are not ready to allow people to make mistakes at our expense. Rama did it at his expense. Yes, I'm going to the forest. Okay, you're doing a mistake at this point in time. Okay, I'll bear with it. That's why we are talking about Rama today. Yes, that magnanimity. The second is the sense of duty. We saw that very clearly. It's not that what's going to keep me happy at this point in time, or what's going to make me money at this point in time. That's not what it. What is right at this point in time? Yes, what is the right thing to do? It is not Artha or Kama, it is Dharma. What's the right thing that we need to do? If one is able to evaluate that and try to, may not be all decisions, but even if you are 75% there, you're hitting the Dharma piece. Your options, the options that you're making are in the Dharma zone instead of being Artha and Kama, then I think we are uh, I would say we are navigating in the right direction. What's my timeline? I shut somebody's mouth by asking them whether they're managing it. 5 more minutes? It's time, okay. You know why? Okay, why do you think, if you just twist the same Dharma piece a little further, what are you going to see is Rama had a clear purpose and goal and direction in his life. Yes. Pran Jaya. With that very clearly in mind, then Kaikeyi becomes some side business. Side में कुछ आया, ठीक है, my main goal is this, I have to achieve this. And to achieve this, if anukulyasya sankalpaha, pratikulyasya varjanam, leave it, get it, let it go. Yes? It's not that, you heard people say, pick your battles. Yes? Which one are we going to fight? Our cheese, ready ho jao. It's not going to work at all. So I have a goal, and this is actually disturbing my very purpose of my life and this thing. उसके लिए खड़ा रहेगा, कोई कुछ बोलेगा, that is worth taking पंगा for. छोटी-छोटी चीजों के लिए, no, this means how can you say like that to me? Yeah, is your main goal getting disturbed? Is your direction getting disturbed? Are you getting thrown off your very this thing? That's not the case. Be very happy to be there. Yes, it's okay. It's okay. Some things will come on the side. They will come and they will go. These are temporal things. Yes. So from that perspective, Rama is very, very clear on what he wanted. उसमें कुछ, look, in my life, I'll share this and with that we can close. I had a few things I wanted to put in place. My goal was to retire before I'm 45. My goal was to set up a farm community. To enable that, my goal was to see that my son goes to the Gurukula. I wanted to see that my family goes and lives in Mayapur from Dubai, so that they are able to take that as a stepping stone to move to the farm. These were some basic goals I set for myself. To achieve those goals, I had to go on one Europe holiday and another big holiday, and then buy a big car and live in a big house, and all that is, to me, the big fish is the farm community. The big fish were those. To get the big fish, you can cook small fish. Yes? In life, this equation is always very good to have. My core goal is this. I want to see that I'm able to peacefully perform my whatever my material activity, so that ultimately my spiritual goals and my congruence on the big picture is not going to be affected. If that goal is everything else, तो job में कुछ बीच में कुछ आया कोई चिल्लाया, ठीक है यार, कल सुबह chanting करना है. I'm not going to carry it in my head. I'm not going to get into this. So far as I'm able to move, it gets very painful. Move, get another job, move on, do whatever you have to. But I think it will make us more sane people if our core goals are very clear in our head, and we don't want to disturb those core goals. Keep those core goals and be happy to give it to the family. Yes, father, mother, siblings, whoever you want this, okay. It doesn't disturb my core goals. Does it make sense? Okay, can you quickly just give me a 1 minute wrap? What are the main points we touched on today? Quickly, come on. What guys?
Kaikeyi the villain.
Sorry?
Kaikeyi the villain.
Kaikeyi the villain, okay. What are the learnings?
Lose some battles, but win the war.
Yeah. Win the war, ready to lose battles. What else? Nice one. Huh?
Focus on long-term goals.
Focus on the long-term goal. Very important. When it comes to fighting, procrastinate. Before having a discussion, when the discussion is going south, I said something. What was that?
And don't procrastinate your studies or your work.
Oh, that's a corollary to that. Nice point.
Procrastinate the fight except everything else.
I'll take it. What else?
Give time to calm out.
Yes, give time for people to go nuts. Yes, Kaikeyi went nuts. Give her that 15 days. 15 days later, she's the same gold again. So sometimes people get off the wrong side. You may have to give them time. What else? Deepika. What else? Riya. Very nice. To be able to be there and discuss. In fact, the one thing I mentioned, select the right time where you can actually discuss. Where लाड़ प्यार से जब discussion हो रही है, तो तुम मुंह पे बताओ, गधा है, अब ले लेगा, हाँ गधा you. Yes, when you are fighting, at that time you say the smallest thing. तू तो क्या? कुछ बोला नहीं. Yes, it's a complete reverse. Yes, so you choose the right space when you are under the influence of Rajoguna and Tamoguna. At that point, you cannot resolve issues. Don't try working on what else? What else? Come on.
Let them save their face.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. A side point, she picked that up. Allow people to save their face. Yes. What else?
The child example you gave at times to protect the relationship, you might have to take a lower position.
Very nice. You didn't do any mistake. Yes. But for the sake of the relationship, you say, you're seeing your pops fuming from his ears on a particular day. Okay? You know that whatever logic is not going to help. What can you say?
Just apologize.
You say, I'm sorry. I will say, it's my problem. I'm sorry. First, after that, he'll come back and say, sorry. Jovi, yes? This naturally happens. So to be able to say that sorry, those hands which went up who can't say sorry, I'm sorry. Yes. Your relationship, it is it's all over, and you will see there are so many examples. We see people are able to say that, and they are the actual winners in their relationships, winners in their lives. You can win. If you think that sorry is losing, sorry is a statement of victory. Sorry is not a defeat. Sorry is a statement of victory. Sorry is not a defeat. What else? Hare Krishna. I think we are done. Thank you very much.
There's a question from the online group.
I don't know whether there's some people there. How many people are online?
I think a few, 7. Vinayak has this question and he says, is being too apologetic or being too appreciative to someone ruin its value?
Generally, too apologetic, किधर राम किधर पैदा होते हैं आजकल? To be too apologetic or too appreciative of anybody. 99%, 99 of us, how does it apply to us? Please be apologetic. Please be appreciative. I'm definite, I don't see anybody on the surface of this youth class or anywhere I'm interacting where somebody is over appreciative, who's over apologetic. I don't see that person. So let's not worry about what doesn't exist. What else? Questions, comments? Hare Krishna. Thank you. Sri Ramchandra Bhagwan ki jai. I really, maybe I sidestepped into a very different zone today. It was a very different flavor and with a purpose of trying to talk relationships. I really hope you're able to keep some of these points in your head. I'm telling you, we work with a lot of people at this point in time. And what I'm giving you is true nuggets from that. If out of what I told you, if there are 10 things, out of that you can apply 2, it will definitely see you in good stead in your relationships. You had something?
Just one question. If you be too apologetic or too appreciative, don't you think people will take you for granted?
भैया वही उत्तर दिया ना, इधर कोई है नहीं. On the surface I see that somebody is too apologetic. If you ever come to that state, I'll tell you that. Don't worry. अभी तो है नहीं. अभी तो तू appreciate भी नहीं करता है. मैं क्लास अच्छा दिया वो भी बोलता है. हरे कृष्ण. Thank you.
Jai, do we stop recording? We end? I'll bring
Hare Krishna. To all those of you online, we are just going to do a quick aarti. So you can still face to the deities and you can see the aarti happening. For those of you who have other things to get to, you can, and the recording will be shared. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hey, how many of you have joined us ever for the Monday Kirtan? How many of you have not been for the Monday Kirtan? Not been? We have a Kirtan going on at our home every Monday, Business Bay. There's a WhatsApp group for that. So please contact Ram. Ram is doing a lot of coordination. Contact him, he will add you onto the WhatsApp group for that. If you're interested in joining us, it's an open for everybody. It's a learning forum. So we just work on Kirtans, hour and a half, 7:30 to 9, every Monday. With Prasad. Rarely we miss. Yeah, with Prasad. With an RSVP, clearly. Was I singing the same tune before? Same thing? Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki jai. Premka Prabhu Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai. Samaveta Bhaktavrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. All the reason and the glory. All glories to the all glories to Shri Shri, to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namaste Narasimhaya. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, bye bye.